Hello everyone and welcome to part 18 of the Pokemon Red No Star Run playthrough. And as you can see, we're finally doing the trade because, things look different and there are two screens in red and blue. So yeah, I did a separate file, actually on my phone, and transported, or just moved, the save file to my computer, and yeah. This simulator, like I said, allows me to trade. It's called TGB Duel, if you're interested. Just search it up on YouTube, you'll find a way to download and all that stuff. Maybe even like a tutorial on how to use it. It's not too hard. But yeah, this is what trading looks like. You can also battle, as you saw. So if you still got your Game Boy, you got your red, and your friend's got a Game Boy, and he's got blue or red or yellow, or maybe even cheat, and you guys got a link cable. Boom. This is how you do it. This is how you do it back in the day, and this is what it looks like. Pretty much same thing as what it looked like when we got that far-fetched from that one girl for the Spearow. But yeah, so I caught a Vulpix, leveled it up to I think 28. I thought that's what Growlithe was. Growlithe was actually 29, so whatever. But yeah, so that's that. Vulpix. Vulpix evolves same way with Firestone, and I want to wait till it learns everything, and that won't be till like level friggin' 40 something, maybe even 50. And yeah, I checked the movesets for both Kadabra and Graveler, when they evolve into Golem and Alakazam, and they learn the exact same moves, at least in Gen 1. So you can evolve them really like right when they evolve, so you could have your Alakazam at level fucking 16 and you're not missing out on anything. So if you can, do it as soon as possible because it doesn't hurt anything and it only just gives you boosts in stats really, so there's no real reason why you wouldn't. But yeah, so now we have Alakazam, so we're gonna wreck even more shit. Yeah. And as you see, yeah, there's my whole fucking blue. I just cheats, just to fuck around and just have all legendaries. So these are all the legendaries for Gen 1. We will be, we'll at least be showing off the battles. I guess I'll try to catch them. Catching legendaries is not really easy, and it could take a lot of time. So not sure how I'm gonna go about it yet. If I'm just gonna like speed it up somehow, or just at least show off the battle, but just kill the Pokemon, because, this is an emulated file, I don't really care, But yeah, here we're getting Graveler to evolve into Golem, and I've actually never really had a Golem in Gen 1, and, well, you'll see for yourself in a few seconds, but my god, his sprite is horrible. Here, you'll see. You can kind of see already. Look at that. What the fuck? Look at that derpy ass fucking face and those eyes. Those horrible yellow eyes. Oh man. But yeah, like, cause I remember, I think was it Jay Witz? He made like some kind of episode with the weird sprites and shit. I'm surprised. I don't remember Golem being on the list, because when I first saw it, when I recorded, I was just like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. But yeah. So I went to the department store for one last time to buy a Firestone and also a Waterstone. Firestone's obviously for Vulpix, and the Waterstone's for the Water-type Pokemon I actually decided on, which will be catching relatively soon. I think next part, not this part. This whole part we're gonna be heading back to Lavender Town now that we have the Sylph Scope and taking care of the Pokemon Tower. Yeah, this is what it's actually called. I kept on calling it like fucking Pokemon I was gonna say funeral, graveyard or something, just because all the tombstones. I couldn't remember what it was called, but because I faintly recollected Pokemon Tower, but I didn't know if that was right. Or not Pokemon Tower, Lavender Tower. But when I searched up for my Bulbapedia search, because, you can catch Pokemon here. I gotta tell you what you can catch. Yeah, it actually was called Lavender Tower, so I was like, oh, huh. And yeah, your Growlithe died because it sucks in Gen 1, so ha. I was gonna talk about something. Oh yeah, this is an emulated file, so I don't really care. I kind of wish I actually used my original cartridge to do this, now that I'm thinking about it, and also kind of wish I did blue instead of red, just because, the way I go about things is, well, I guess I'll talk about that later, because that's something entirely to talk about, and it might take me a while. But yeah, so here's our rival again. So we haven't had a fight with him since, I want to say Cerulean. So I mean, his lineup's kind of the same. I think he has maybe maybe one more new Pokemon, but he still got the Pidgeotto. And this is actually where the the last time we fought him was on the SSN. I keep derp. But this is where the whole you killed his Raticate thing kind of came into play, because he no longer has the Raticate in his team, and he's here at the Pokemon, or the Lavender Tower, where, you know, people pay their respects to their dead Pokemon. So it's kind of like a fan theory that goes around saying that you were the one who killed his Raticate, and he's here like, what the fuck, my Raticate is dead though, and he's all crying and shit. But yeah, it's never really confirmed by the game or Nintendo, but that's what fans like to believe, and it's a pretty fair assumption, you know. I don't think it's probably like it was on purpose, but maybe he just couldn't make it to the Pokemon Center in time. I don't know. And for the record, your Pokemon can never die in game. It's just like I guess a story element where they do die, but it'll never happen to you, because that would suck. But yeah, here's like I said, here's we finally got our Vulpix and shit, and its moveset's actually it's pretty good. Ember, just like Growlithe, but since Vulpix has a higher special, it actually does more damage than Growlithe. And he's also got the Confuse Ray, which, as you saw, made him confused, although Kadabra did the same fucking thing to me with the Confusion. So yeah, that's nice. Confusion's always pretty good. It's not actually a permanent stat, though. It's, because as you see, like, usually, like, when someone's paralyzed, it says it replaces the level with PAR, but with Confusion, it doesn't do that, so it's not like a permanent stat that you need to use some kind of item to heal, or go to the Pokemon Center. If you switch out your Pokemon and then switch them back in, they won't be confused anymore. That's a way to get around Confusion if you want to. Otherwise, it could last to, I think, 2 to 5 turns, just like Sleep. But yeah, so there was Blue. Like I said, no Eradicate. I guess we killed it. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, he actually talked about leading into what kind of Pokemon you catch here, and I actually didn't know that. Excuse me. I didn't know that because I don't really run into it, and I'll tell you all the percentages, and it's actually pretty surprising. Actually, after we do this battle, just because I guess I'll talk about the new type that we're introduced to here. So this is a new trainer type, channelers, whatever. And yeah, they all use Ghost type Pokemon. So this is our first Ghost type Pokemon, Gastly. The actual only Ghost type Pokemon in the whole gen is just this Gastly's lineup. Just him, his evolution Haunter, and then Haunter's evolution Gengar, and that's it. Those are the only Ghost type Pokemon. The one weak side to them, because Ghost type Pokemon they're supposed to be used to break or have an advantage over Psychics. So you know, like if it's supposed to be able to beat Psychics. So like when you're going up against Psychics, because you know how broken they are, you know, Ghost type moves are supposed to be super effective against Psychics. There's only, well, 2 problems. One, there are only 2 Ghost type moves in the whole game, according to my knowledge. Well, Confuse Ray might be one, but that's not really a damaging move. Lick and Nightshade. Lick, that will be super effective on Psychics, but its damage is so minimal that it doesn't even do anything. I think it only does like 20 damage or something like that. It does have a chance of paralysis too, but meh. And then Nightshade, it does damage based on your level. I think the higher level you are, the more damage it does, compared to like who you're facing. So say if you're level 50 going against level 30, it'll do more damage, you know, as opposed of like a 30 against a 30. So yeah, this is Nightshade. The only weird thing is it doesn't go like with typing. So if you do Nightshade on a Psychic type Pokemon, it's not going to be super effective. So, and the second reason why Psychics are no good, or not Psychics, Ghosts, is because, like I said, the only 3 Ghost type Pokemon in this game are all also Poison type Pokemon. And that's why I'm using Alakazam here, because Poison is, you know, weak to Psychic. So they, you know, they can't beat Psychics. If you want to be a Psychic, don't use Ghost type Pokemon. So, in my opinion, Ghost type Pokemon are pretty useless in Gen 1. They do have pretty good stats though. Gengar is kind of just like, well, actually the whole lineup's kind of like Abra. They all have high special and speed. Pretty crappy defense, but that doesn't really matter. So you still could use them pretty well with stat-wise. They can learn a decent amount of special-based moves. I know they can learn like Thunderbolt and stuff, and you won't get your stat bonus, but they're still pretty good Pokemon. But I would definitely recommend using them in later gens when they're more useful and get better Ghost-type moves that actually do stuff. And yeah. So as for Gen 1 Ghost-type Pokemon, meh, no good. But finally they get into, well, actually, here's this. I'm showing off this trainer battle because this guy's got Haunter. So this is the evolution of Gastly. No one's got a Gengar though, so meh. What can you do? So as far as Pokemon we can finally catch, now that I can talk about it, so obviously Gastly. That's what I ran into the whole time. On average, its rate of encounter is about 80. All the rates are different on every floor, but the third floor being 90. The first 2 floors you can't find anything. It only happens on the 3rd floor and up. We could also find Cubone, like Blue was talking about. Its rate is 9 the whole time. Well, it's 10 on the 7th floor, but 10. What, like, like that makes a difference. And then we could also catch Haunter. But my God, on the 3rd floor, 1%, 5%, 5, or well, 7th floor, 15. But still, that's pretty low. So 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be Gastly. And for me, it was 10 times out of 10. So, meh. So here's where this is, once we get on this stairs, it's the last floor, and that's where we need to go for a plot. This is what the sprite would look like if you try to come here before you had the Silscope. We would just see that generic ghost sprite, send out a Pokemon. The Pokemon would be too scared to fight, so, you know, it would make us run away. So, you wouldn't be able to do anything. I think if you were able to, like, get to the trainers and fight them, you'd still be able to see them and fight them. But in order to get past the staircase, you need the Silscope to see that Marowak. And that's the whole story altogether. Like, supposedly this Marowak died protecting its baby Cubone. That's the evolution of Cubone, by the way. And its spirit was like restless or something and couldn't move on to the next life or something. And you battling it somehow makes it go to the next life. And it was supposedly killed by Team Rocket. Actually, the Pokemon Origins anime that recently came out when X and Y came out, one of the episodes goes into that whole story, and it is actually kind of like, it's pretty sad, because Team Rocket actually, you know, killed it, and it was going around the internet, you know, as one of those sad, depressing things, and yeah, it's sad. It's not good. It's not a good time. But as you can see, Team Rocket is here. Luckily, we only have 3 grunts to deal with, so nothing major. But the reason why they're here is because they're holding someone hostage. If you recall, his name is Mr. Fuji. He had one house in Lavender Town with a bunch of Pokemon in it. He takes care of Pokemon that had been abandoned. And he went missing, so this is where he's been. He's been kind of held hostage by Team Rocket. Why? Because Professor... Well, I kind of gave it away by saying Professor. Mr. Fuji was Professor back in the day. There have been a lot of speculation and mysteries around him about what he did back in the day, mostly leading into one of the legendary Pokemon in this game. So he actually does have quite the backstory. That's quite interesting. I'll talk about it probably when we get to the legendary. But yeah, as of now, he's kind of retired from the whole Professor thing and just takes care of abandoned Pokemon. So, you know, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. But yeah, to finally talk about the one thing I wanted to talk about. I kind of wish I did blue instead, because how I do it is, well, this is how I did Gen 6 anyway. I like to buy both versions. Like, I bought both X and Y the day it came out, because I'm badass like that. And I use X for like my main file, and that's you know, that's why I played first. And that's where I have all my good Pokemon. And like I haven't done everything yet, but I've done a lot of shit. I beat the game and stuff, and then Y is kind of the file I mess around with, where I just, you know, play with whatever Pokemon I feel like playing. Like, even if like I'm not supposed to have them. Like right now, I'm playing through Y using the Gen 2 starters, because, you know, Gen 2 is my favorite. So I kind of wanted to like do blue, and then once I finished the playthrough, actually like trade those Pokemon into my red, because it'd be nice to keep them, just so that way, you know, all the time I put into raising these Pokemon is not just wasted. So I was kind of thinking about doing it like that when I go on to the other gens, like doing silver instead of gold, and then you know, once I finish my playthrough, just migrate all those Pokemon to my gold version. So yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna do it, just because it's cool. So yeah, when I finally get to Gen 2, I guess I don't know when I'm gonna do it. Probably next year. Probably, like I said when I was talking to Alex, probably do a Gen a year. But yeah, we'll actually be using an actual cartridge, so that'll be nice. But so there is the last Team Rocket guy. So he's gone, and there's Mr. Fuji. And fucking random Pokemon. So yeah, there are still fucking Pokemon up here they can battle. So yeah, apparently he came up here to try to calm Marowak, which we did. So he's like, "Oh, thank you kindly, good sir." We're all like, "Let's get you out of here, old man." So now he's back at home, and if you talk to him, well, the main reason why we kind of wanted to save him is because he'll give us an item. An item we need to actually progress, and once we finally get this, we can finally start progressing again. But yeah, he gives you there it is. He gives you the flute. And the flute, as he's talking about, wakes up sleeping Pokemon. And as we know, the two Snorlaxes that are blocking both our ways to get to Fuchsia City. So now that we have the means of waking those fuckers up, we'll finally wake them up and get to where we need to go. So, and also, if you use it in battle, I actually found this out not too long, like maybe like a year or so ago. If you actually use it in battle, it will awake your Pokemon. So it's like you have pretty much infinite awakenings. So there's no real reason to buy awakenings anymore. So even after you use the flute twice on those two Snorlax, it's still good to keep with you, just in case you need to wake up a sleeping Pokemon in battle or something. But so yeah, that's the end of the part. So I'll see you guys in part 19, where we'll finally do stuff and progress and fight them Snorlaxes, and yeah. So I'll see you guys then. Take care.